with Ashley Morrison from Lockertek. And hi, Ashley.
Hi, everyone. How you doing? All right.
So, Ashley, we're just going to talk about your company and what you do. So, if you'd just like to sort of give a brief explanation what Lockertek is all about. And
yeah, of course. Yeah. So, hi guys. My name's Ashley Morrison. I'm the managing director of Lockertek. We are a nationally and internationally operating locker company. So, a lot of you will have been at school or college, or you've gone to the gym, or you've worked in a store or anywhere really, and you've had lockers which you put your belongings in. Probably at school some of you might have broken the lockers. It's not necessarily bad news for us, but so Lockertek, basically we operate all over the world. We supply lockers so to all different sectors, everything from leisure to retail to schools. To some of our notable customers are Nike and Peloton and the Burj Khalifa in Dubai and X Factor, the TV program. So we've provided lockers and the associated consumables or spare parts for those all over the world. So the company started off very tiny. Started off in a bedroom like a lot of companies do, and it just grew from there really.
Okay, that's really good, Ashley. So it's really unusual, isn't it? Sort of
Absolutely.
Lockers. So
yeah.
Tell me, what was your career journey? Sort of what made you get into lockers?
Okay, well,
Where did you start?
Fell into it a little bit. I was working as a sales rep for a locker manufacturer. So I got a job working for a locker manufacturer based up north, and I was offered a job going around selling lockers to people. You know, I had a company car and a mobile phone, and that's kind of an outdated concept now. You don't really see too many sales reps, but that's what I did. This was about sort of 2006. Worked for the locker company for a couple of years, and working away as normal, and then all of a sudden I had a phone call from my boss, and this was the day my daughter was born. So my wife was in hospital, my daughter was literally just been born about 10 minutes earlier. Got a phone call from my boss, and this is 2008, the year of the big financial crash, and I got a phone call saying, yeah, you've been made redundant. So I then had a sort of a massive issue in that I had no job anymore. I had to support a new young baby. And I came up with the idea, I thought, do you know what? I think I can do this better. I think there are ways that I can take this industry, which is really old fashioned, and make it more modern and better and do great things. So that's kind of how I got into the mindset of starting this company. And it went from there really.
Was it scary?
Oh God, unbelievably. Yeah, of course it was. You're in a position at that point where you kind of have no real plan. I'd never owned my own business before. So I mean, the first thing I did, I thought, okay, right. So I looked at what the market was doing, so what the existing locker companies were doing, and a lot of them they're not run by people who sell. They're manufacturing people who are very old fashioned in their approach to delivering lockers. And an example of this is, they would only be really happy doing grey lockers in metal that go in schools because it was easier for them to do. And we were much more interested. I was much more interested in doing really cool lockers with graphics on and electronic locking and just more exciting stuff. So the way I started really is the first thing I did, I thought, well, the first thing I've got to do before I start a business is I've got to find out if what I'm proposing, there really is a big enough market for it. So what I did is I phoned a whole number of schools, a whole bunch of leisure centres, and just said, look, would you be interested in if I was to be able to produce really cool looking lockers, do all the spare parts for lockers cheaper than anyone else, and even go out and fix and service them when people break them. And the overwhelming response was, yeah, that would be amazing. There's nothing like that out there at the moment. So armed with a total business startup budget of about 200 quid, I decided I couldn't afford to have a website professionally built. So back then there was no such thing as Wix and all these great website design tools. So I had to learn web design from scratch. So I just read like idiots' guides and books and just learn how to build a website, a very basic website just to showcase what we do. So I did that, and I learned about search engine optimization, how to get your product to the top of Google when people search. And I tried to get very basic. I'm not the best at maths, so I tried to get a very basic grasp of the finance, how to run the finances of a company. And I just sought, I just sought advice from as many people as I could in terms of how to make the company a success. And it's such hard work starting a company, but also, when you get to the stage right now, it's the most rewarding thing in the world. And I get excited every day going to work. The thing that I will say, it's, in the first year of operating, I was coming close, every day I was just waiting for a deal to come in or for someone to choose to buy something just to keep the business afloat. And quite a few times in the first year, we nearly went under. But it was just that determination just to not give up, to carry on and not to allow circumstances or things to get in the way. That's what drove me on. And as the months sort of progressed, it snowballed a bit. A few more customers came on board and they told a few more people and they told a few more people. And 15 years later, we're a global company, fastest growing company in our sector, employing a whole bunch of people out of Snetterton Park in South Norfolk. And we're just living the dream.
Brilliant. And thank you for your really honest insight, about the company and some really good tips there. So you said about, your workforce, what sort of things do they do?
Well, we've got different teams within. We've got a young apprentice who is phenomenal. She's now an e-commerce marketing specialist. So she came into the company with no experience at all, and she goes to college and she learns about e-commerce. E-commerce is the channel of selling things online. So you look at the big e-commerce brands. Amazon's a big e-commerce brand. You've got ASOS and even the big sort of retailers, Sports Direct and things. They sell a lot on online, and really it's basically the modern day version of a shop. So if you go into Selfridges, we are like a Selfridges for lockers, but just online. So we don't have the expense of a huge store and hundreds of staff to serve you. We do everything, and we can reach a much wider audience around the world without ever leaving our offices. So really, that's our marketing side of it. We've got customer service staff, so they handle inquiries, or they handle sales inquiries, or any issues with products or how to use certain products. So they do that. We've got office manager who oversees the entire team in the office, who looks after everybody. And we've got sales staff as well who handle sales inquiries. And some of our biggest jobs, we have tenders in, which means they're hundreds of pages long documents where they want us to propose our best price for a large project. So we have them staff. We've got accountant staff, so we've got accounts assistants, and we've got an accounts director who looks after everything and is my sort of second in command. And then myself, obviously I'm managing director, and I basically oversee everybody. Now, it's not quite as grand as it looks, because as much as I love all of the exciting part of business, but unfortunately when you get to management director level, a lot of my time is spent filling in forms and doing some very dull stuff. But I do like to get out on the floor sometimes and chat to customers and help drive the business forward.
Oh, what a journey from where you were when you got made redundant, the birth of your daughter.
First 2 years. First 2 years, I was working in a 6 by 4 foot home office on a little desk which I bought from Argos in fact I didn't buy it from Argos, I actually got it second hand. I bought a chair from Argos, and my computer was an old laptop I bought second hand for 50 quid, and none of it matters, because you can purvey yourself. If you've got the drive and the determination, you can make what is a tiny home enterprise look like a multi-million-pound operation. It's just all about how you present yourself online. Like in person, if you dress like a scruff pot, then you're not gonna do well. If you dress smart and you look like you care and you're articulate and you give everything to what you're trying to do, both in terms of the way you put yourself forward, but also the way you look and the way you present your brand, then the sky's the limit.
Brilliant. Some really good tips there for people now starting out. So what sort of tips would you give then to like a young person who's now sort of possibly leaving school, leaving college, or someone who's just sort of thinking about changing direction in their career? What tips would you give them, or what would you probably say to a younger Ashley, when you were then leaving school?
Right, I think the first tip I would certainly give is, no matter, who cares if you haven't got experience in finance, web design, you know, speaking to clients, none of this matters. What matters is a determination to succeed. If you've got no ambition, then entrepreneurship and business isn't for you. But if you have that little bit of drive about you, if you want to do something different, you want to do something exciting, then go for it. And I think some of the other key points you really need is, one, is it's not easy. You see all these, I think the biggest problem in society today is probably social media, in that you see these sorry, my phone was going. You see these Instagrammers and people like that who basically say, you know, these reels, I think they're called reels, come up and say, started a new business 2 weeks ago, now I'm making 100 grand a week. That's not the real world. That doesn't happen in real life. Every successful entrepreneur, every successful person, and every successful enterprise sits behind 20 hours a day of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. And there is no shortcut to success in business or entrepreneurship. It's all about hard work, dedication, determination, and having a no never say never die approach to getting into business and doing everything. And you have to also have a belief in your own ability. You don't have to be qualified, you don't have to have A levels, GCSEs, you just need to have drive, determination, and that will to succeed. And also get as much advice and help as you can. Speak to people like myself, or speak to people who've done it, and they will always, and I mean always, want to help. They will always help you on your journey, because, you know, the younger me asked for that help at the same time, and people like me would never turn down someone's request for a little bit of mentoring or a little bit of help, or actually, you know, to find out, or to give you some tough love, to give you an idea of, you know, whether your product will be a success or won't. And I think you know in yourself, if you've got a great idea, only you can bring that to fruition. Another thing as well, which I think is super important, is actually to work out, one, who your customer is. Who is your customer? Who is your target audience? Who's your demographic? Who are you trying to reach? And if you're trying to reach a particular demographic or person, you need to find out how you get to that person. So does that person look at Instagram? Does that person look at LinkedIn? Does that person work around London or in certain areas? Is that where you need to be? And you also need to look at a factor called USPs, which is unique selling points. So what makes your product or service you're looking to offer stand out over and above anybody else's product? So if you're selling, I don't know, if you're selling a calculator, right? What makes your calculator different to the 150 other calculators? Does it have a glow in the dark screen? Does it offer a 10 times longer battery life? It's about differentiation, making something which you're excited to talk to people about. Because if I just try and sell a calculator, what am I going to tell them? If I tell them this calculator flies like that, then people might be interested in that, and that might be a way to market. So I think you just need to find your thing, find your niche. Don't give up, work hard, and success doesn't come easy, but when it comes, it's the best feeling in the world.
Ashley, you've given some brilliant advice there. So thank you for meeting me today.
That's absolutely fine. Honestly, my pleasure. And obviously to all of you that are considering a life in business, just wish you the very, very best of luck.
Thank you.